In honor of Robin Williams, good morning, Vietnam. How's it going, everyone? Happy Monday. Mel and I are back from a lot of travel. Thank you for those of you who chimed into my live stream when I was at in the hotel in New York City. Had a great time speaking at Harvard. For those of you who are interested, I posted a quick teaser up on my YouTube channel if you want to check that out, of my presentation at Harvard, my lecture at Harvard. It was awesome. We had got 250 students about there. So it was just such an amazing experience, and was honored to have been invited to speak at Harvard in the famed Sanders Theater. So it was definitely something to write home about. So, but glad I'm back. We have a lot of work to catch up on. I need to get China White finally graded for Sundance and Tribeca. So thought all of you might want to color along with me. It seems to be the most positive. Let me go into Do Not Disturb. The comments have been the most positive on just sitting in my color suite and grading with me. So I understand that a lot of you are learning a lot, which is my why. If I can teach at least one person one thing, then I'm happy. So I want to start this live stream out with a little fun fact. So my favorite movie is Top Gun, for those of you who are aware. And I have some interesting facts on Top Gun. So in order for the studio to rent an F-18, they had actually paid $11,237 per hour to rent those F-18s. And on top of that, the cost to fire a single Sidewinder missile was $200,000, right? So the visual effects was so good in Top Gun that the Navy actually launched an investigation into the filming to find out if they had actually fired Sidewinder missiles and not paid for it. So pretty interesting fact, but yeah, that's how good the visual effects was on that movie. I don't know. I don't know how any movie, I mean, look, let's be honest. Harry Potter comes in a very close second. But I don't know how any movie could come close to Top Gun. Top Gun 1 and Top Gun 2. Just the soundtrack. Oh my God. Just the visual effects, the special effects. It was all amazing. For those of you who dug into behind the scenes on how they shot the cockpit scenes, it was just amazing. The cinematography, everything. So anyway, thought I'd start out this live stream with a fun fact on my favorite movie. All right, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be continuing to color grade China White. Now, I don't know how long this live stream is going to go. I'm happy with keeping this live stream on the entirety while I color grade, and all of you can just kind of, come in and out as you have free time. But, I think is when I first started learning color grading, I would have loved to just sit in the color suite of a colorist and just learn from them, learn their methodology, learn just how they grade and what their process is. And that's a big reason behind Goat Trees, not goat cheese, but Goat Trees, this new series on Nightlight. And it's me just dissecting the node trees of Hollywood colorists and what is their methodology for grading each individual node. Now, for those of you who may have seen the announcement, I think I posted it yesterday or the day before, but I posted my node trees as a still shot. So if you go over to my forum on nightstudios.co or nightstudios.com, and then click on, in the top right hand corner, click on login. If you don't have an account, create an account, but it's the Night Studios Insider membership, and it gives you access to our insider forums. And it's a really good idea to subscribe there because I pretty much post everything there. So all of the templates, all of the, stills, all of the newest versions of my node trees will all get posted to that insiders forum. Now, we just launched it, so, there's only a few posts in there, but I'm going to continue to add to it every week. and basically supplements the YouTube videos that I'm creating with forum posts. So I wanted to do it as a forum because I didn't want it to be a blog. I didn't want it to be me just talking at all of you. I wanted it to be very collaborative and have an opportunity for all of you to post in the forum as well. So definitely join the Insider Forum, post, ask your questions. The latest version of my Node tree version 2.1 has been posted there, so you can download that as stills. And then just go into your color tab in DaVinci Resolve and then create a power grade album and just right click and click import, and it'll ask you where those stills are. And then once you import those stills into your album, you can call it Night Studios, you can call it whatever you want. And then all you're going to do is you're going to end up with these 3 shots like I have here. And then you can just right click on those shots and click apply grade, and it's going to apply that grade. All right. So let's go ahead and get started, because I feel like last time we went through this, I talked too much. So anyway, I've got some nice ambient music playing, so hopefully all of you like the ambiance, and you can just color grade with me. So feel free to post your questions in the chat. I will flip back and forth to the chat and see if there's any new questions or comments, but definitely feel free to chime in on the chat and ask me any questions as we grade. If there's any technical issues, if for any reason my camera turns off, if my audio turns off, post it in the chat. Let me know if you're having issues hearing me, but it's good to see all of you. Thanks for joining me. All right. Just for fun, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from today in the chat. And if you're watching this pre-recorded later because you couldn't join us, let us know in the comments where you're coming from. All right, so this is the scene in China White where the Chinese triad gets involved. Again, this is an unreleased show, so a lot of you are getting a sneak peek before it gets released. So, all right, so right now, the first thing I'm gonna ask myself is what's wrong with this image? For me, and you'll notice this about my color grades, I really hate yellow. I really hate browns and yellows, and I don't know, this just, it's too warm of an image for me. So I want to cool this image off and also adjust the balance. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on my first node and I'm going to adjust the luminance. Now you'll hear me tell you this time and time again because I feel like there's a lot of trolls out there. There's no wrong way to do anything. So if anyone tells you you're wrong, there's just multiple ways to do something, and that way is whatever works for you and your story. Excuse me. Some coffee here. All right. So I'm going to go over to my HDR wheels. I'm going to try and not use my panel as much as I can, just so all of you can see, and I'll try and narrate as much as I can. So I like to use the exposure wheel in HDR wheels. Again, the HDR wheels are going to be color aware. For those of you who color space aware, for those of you who have not seen the video, I'm a big Nobe Omniscope girl. As a matter of fact, I just met their head of marketing, super cool cat, and have formed a partnership with them, Time in Pixels, and I've got a discount code. Now they're running a special right now, I want to say through the month of October, and the special will give you, I think, 30% off of Nobe Omniscope. So right now is a great time to buy it if you want to get it. After their October special ends, I will put my discount code out there for all of you to use that if for any reason after October, if you're watching this video after October and you need a discount code, you can use it. So Nobe Omniscope is my scopes of choice. I'll leave the scopes for DaVinci down in the right hand corner, but this gives you an idea of kind of how I grade. So if you see me looking down beneath the camera, it's me looking at Nobe Omniscope. It's because I've got it on my iPad right below the camera. Again, the neat thing about Nobe Omniscope is you can just center it on a particular area of the shot and get the and your scopes will update to whatever it is you highlighted. So I love that about Nobe Omniscope. So this is my false color. You typically want to be in the 60 to 70 IRE range. So, on skin tone. So, we definitely, I feel like we need to bring up the, it's again, it's up to you. I'm not gonna tell you what's right or wrong. It's just, I feel like this luminance needs to be adjusted. We'll do that. I am using my Wacom for those of you who are interested. And because I'm going to be using a power window to focus on the talent, I'm let me actually turn off the sound. I'll mute the sound on my TV. I don't want to cause any problems for all of you with the sound, so I'll mute. That is my client monitor that all of you see, and that all of you cannot see behind the camera. It's behind me. All right. So. All right, so right now we see that the talent on the left-hand side is talking. So I'm going to create a power window around him. I'm going to expose for his face because of that power window. So, all right, so again, not really feeling this look, a little too yellowy. So I have an option here where I can either adjust the white balance for the wall or I can adjust the balance for his teeth. As many of you have heard me say in the past, I like to grade for either. We can take a look at both. So let me use Nobe Omniscope just for that. Sorry, I have no way to share my second monitor and restream everybody, so I apologize about that. But get an idea of what I'm doing. So there, this is the same thing, the global on the HDR wheels, or you can use your offset wheel. That's another way to do it. So I can reset this. And go into my offset wheel, which is basically the same thing as printer lights. All right, so you get, again, no wrong or right way to do it. You can choose what works for you. You can look at the different looks. So I'll do something in the HDR wheels, or I'll do something in the primaries, or I'll do something in the log wheels, and I'll just go with what I feel looks the best. But again, you're just white balancing, so you don't need to spend hours on it. So that's me adjusting balance for the wall, or I could do it based on his teeth. I want to show all of you how we can do that. So you can use the auto white balance. Showed you this before. And then you can see I'm white balancing for his teeth. So, again, it really just doesn't matter. I tend to focus my white balance on the area that people are going to look for. The audience is going to look, the most for sort of things to be off. Like, for example, if they're white in their eyes or the white in their teeth is too pink or purple, that sort of thing. So you want to focus on an area that your audience will most likely focus. I mean, we can keep with that. I mean, again, don't over engineer it. You don't need to spend an hour white balancing. So we can go over here to contrast. bring our contrast up. I like to, it depends on the shot, but I tend to like to be around 1.1, almost 1.2, depends. And then it's a little purpley. If we want, we can bring some teal into the shadows, but I really want to go with a more traditional look. I got enough of the orange and teal look. Kind of over it. All right. Okay. So now what I'm going to want to do is I want to take the attention away from her. Focus the attention on him since he's the one speaking. And then I want to go in here and just go into my HDR wheels and adjust the exposure. We don't have to go crazy. You know, it doesn't have to be radical. A little goes a long way in color grading. What do you think? What do all you think? You like that? It's pretty good, right? Not bad. I mean, you know, we don't want to go too dark on the power window. You know, we don't have to go crazy. You know, because I mean, she is here. We don't want to completely black her out. So, okay, so now that we have that scene, I'm going to move on to the next one. I feel pretty good about this. You know, there's nothing else I really want to do. Nothing, you know, don't really need to get into depth maps or, you know, masking or qualifiers. I kind of just feel, you know, the skin tones, everything just kind of looks fine. All right, so this I feel is definitely off. I'll check chat every once in a while. Hello, Germany. Nice to have you here. Wow, Timo, Finland. Oh, beautiful countries. I don't know if any of you know this or not, but I used to live in Stuttgart, Germany. And so, you know, I would, you know, go to Prague, Italy, Spain for the weekend. It was great. I loved living there. I lived there for about 5 years. I think like it was a beautiful country. The goat, hi there. Will you ever be returning to London? Oh, London is my God. It's funny you bring that up. London is our favorite home. I can tell you, London is our home away from home. We typically stay the night in. We usually stay in Kensington Park. So yeah, but we had actually gone to London a few months ago. We got really sick with COVID, and then when we landed in London, we were, you know, I was originally sick with COVID, and then I gave it to Mel, and then we were both just dying in the hotel room. I don't know if any of you have had COVID while traveling. It sucks, and when especially being in a completely different country. But the answer, goat, is yes. We will be back in London, and we have to do some fish and chips and get together for sure. Hey, that guy. Thank you. Yeah. No, I definitely less is more. And you know, it's interesting. I don't know, Guy, if you've noticed this, but you know, I'll be color grading, and I'll love it, and it'll look great. And you know, I'll go to sleep, and then I'll wake up the next morning. I'll come up and be like, oh my God, this grade sucks. It's horrible. Give me a thumbs up if any of you have done that. I do that all the time. Here's the thing you have to remind yourself. There's a great quote that a mentor told me a long time ago is don't make perfect enemy of the good. So, you know, I mean, I could go in here and regrade a scene over and over and over and over. And there is some truth to stepping away and then coming back to it and then looking at it with a fresh pair of eyes. So just understand that it's going to happen and don't beat yourself up about it. but definitely realize that you do need to just kind of call it quits, draw a line in the sand, and move on to the next clip. But yeah, it's totally it's my thing. I definitely do that. All right, let's fix this. All right, so let's check out our loom. Our luma. Sorry, trying to microphone's in the way. Yeah, I think probably about there. Eh. Again, I'm going to check my false color. I love false color. For those of you who have not used Nobe Omniscope, I promise you it will change your life. It's a life changer. All right. It's pretty well exposed, right? Yeah. All right. That's what I love about color grading. It's so subjective. It really is. All right. I mean, as long as your grade is defensible, right? Like as long as you can defend your grade, and the major things like white balance aren't off. The technicals, right? I'm not talking about the creative, the technical side of color grading. Okay. So that I don't like the color of that wall. It's very peachy looking. It's very peach. Trying to remember the color of that wall in real life. I definitely don't recall it being peach. If anything, it was like an off-white cream. What do we want to grade for? I want to grade for her teeth or the wall. I think I'm going to grade for the wall. The decision making in color grading. Not bad, if I say so myself. Feel a little green, everybody. Feels a little green to me. I feel like that's a little green. I wish Restream would show my keystrokes so all of you can see my keystrokes and I can just use, I can just use pointer lights. But I can only get that when I'm pre-recording a video for all of you. All right. Okay, now I am actually obviously here. Let me show all of you my scopes. It obviously depends. Do you notice? You just if you do a white balance of a particular area in Nobe, in Omniscope, and you still feel like the white balance is off. It might be the area you sampled. Look at that. You see that? Okay, so if I grab that, look at how it's like that area is leaning more towards orange and red. Whereas if I grab this area down here, look at that. You see that? You see how it's more, centered? You just if you do a white balance and it comes off wonky looking, yes, that is a technical term. Then maybe you just need to grab a new area and sample a new area. But love Omniscope. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm liking that. I'm liking it. Not liking this microphone in my way. Let's see if I can. Ugh. The things I do for all of you. Just kidding. All right. Let me know what you think about this whole live color grade with me, as if you're sitting in my color suite with me while I color grade. Let me know if you like this series. I like it. I'm just like, I figure if I'm going to sit here and color grade, I might as well do it with all of you, right? So you can learn along with me, right? All right. Yeah, I like that. And let's use our power window. Now, I mean, I could use curves if I wanted to. Well, again, nothing wrong with that, but I don't know. I like to stay on my HDR wheels. I guess it just depends. Depends on my mood. And the convenience of the mini panel and what screen I'm on. But I'm definitely a creature of habit. How's the music, all everyone? I don't have my headphones on. Just ambience is the music. Hopefully I'll be like that. Okay, I'm checking comments. Yeah, goat for sure. We need to definitely do some fish and chips. Let's see. Oh, hey Dabby. I didn't recognize you. Dabby Dabs in the house. Yep, it's definitely an art form. Definitely an art form, Dabby. Yeah. Yeah, it's I'm sure all of you can understand. I mean, you could spend hours. Have you ever and it's you're human. Haven't you ever found yourself just sitting there spending like 4 hours on a single clip? You're like, oh my God. I've over engineered this. I need to move on. I am the queen of that for sure. Oh, you were a glass blower? That's amazing. Yeah, I'm perfectionist. Yeah. So no, I mean, thanks, Dabby Dubs. So, I thought it was interesting because, like I said, other colorists will teach you through stock footage. I'm teaching you with a TV series that we've produced, that we filmed, I directed, I wrote. So, I just think it feels like a little bit more real worlds where, look at all these clips we have to grade. Like this is so real world. So I'm glad all of you are enjoying it and being here along with me. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling this. I don't want to go too crazy with the I noticed, I kind of went back and said, okay, look, I went a little too crazy. And you definitely want to make sure that you shot match, like, does everything look like it was shot on different cameras, or, different times of the day or different angles? You want to make sure that everything looks good in that area. Um, okay. Okay. Yeah. Uh, Let me check my scopes. Everything lives in the lights. The mids. All right. Oh, by the way, for those of you who didn't attend the previous videos or see the previous videos, you should. But you can modify the zones for these individual wheels. I love that about the HDR wheels. So I can actually go in here and disable them and just enable light. And you can actually modify the zones for it, right? And you can see, what you're affecting and adjust the zone for light and actually include more of the area for the light wheel. And you can actually create custom wheels. That's pretty sick too. So you can actually create a new zone. It's just, I don't know. I love the HDR wheels. I'm an HDR wheel girl for sure. All right. That's fine. We'll move on. Okay. So same thing. Check our Luma. And again, I don't want you to think that, there's a right or wrong on the false color either. I mean, if you want your skin tones and the, a little lower on the IRE, like around 50, 50 or 45 IRE, it's again, it's the story you're trying to tell, what works for the scene. It feels about right. Okay. And I believe we've pretty much been balancing for the wall, right? Since it's the biggest area. I tend to go for whatever's the biggest area of the scene. Thinking that that's where a lot of my audience is going to be focusing. So, yeah. This is a lot harder to do with my Wacom, but I want all of you to see what I'm doing, so I'm doing this for you. Okay. All right. All right. Feels good, right? See what I mean about this Wacom? I love this Wacom, but it definitely takes some getting used to. All right, contrast. So, you know, she's really the only one in scene. I mean, I'll do a spotlight. So if there's all, you know, if I only have like one talent in the scene, I won't go too crazy because it's kind of obvious where the audience needs to look, but I'll still do it. Hopefully all of you had a chance to download my node tree. See, we don't have to go crazy. See how I told you, all of you guys and girls, earlier about how there's red in the eyes? Now you can see that clearly, I think right here. You see, like right here, you know, you want to, that's why you want to be careful where you decide to, what you decide to sample to white balance, whether you're using auto white balance or if you're just doing it based off of your scopes manually. But just remember, there's blood veins in the eyes, so you want to be careful what you choose. Usually, you know, people want to see people with white teeth, so usually I'll either balance for the teeth or I'll balance for a big area that's supposed to be white. Okay, so I've got pretty much the first three angles covered, and then this is the fourth angle. So once I do this one, you'll see how it's a lot faster to do the rest of the scene. But let's go ahead and continue. All right, this is definitely too dark. You know, so you might want to, just take a moment to take a breath, look at your scene, see what's wrong with it, see what you want to fix, see what you don't like about it. You know, don't just be mechanical, don't be just robotic. Just, you know, take a minute and analyze the scene, see what it needs. Gosh, I feel like I'm starting to sound like that painter who passed away. What was his name? Oh my god, I grew up on him. The like hippie with the curly hair. He was like the painter, and he always talked in a soft voice, and he would make love with the trees in your painting. Anyway, I just watched a documentary on him. Oh my god, it's crazy. His story's crazy. Anyway, can't remember his name right now. Let me know if any of you remember his name. All right. Dabby says teeth are the first thing a person sees when looking at a person. Yeah, exactly. I've always had just really good luck with balancing with people's teeth. Um, Bob Ross. Yeah, thanks, Dabby. Yeah, Bob Ross. Barbara, look, I'm that old. This is a lot of hair color, okay? I'm probably older than all of you put together. I turned 45 in January. And yeah, I grew up on Bob Ross. Bob Ross was gangster, man. Bob Ross was G. All right. All right, so I feel like we got the loom good. Luma. Luma. Balance it. All right. So you see how the talent isn't even opening his mouth? So we can't use his teeth. So let's balance for the wall. Hey, if any of you buy a Nobe Omniscope, make sure you tell them that you heard about them from me. give me some shouts. That feels about right. Feels good. That balance makes me feel good. All right. Oh, my neck is going to be hurting me by the end of the day. It's a weird position. I need to resituate my desk for these live streams. Like, what am I looking for? Remember, be careful not to crush your blacks. Be really careful with contrast. Be really careful when you're... Oh, you know what? Does that go live today? I think my new video of recreating the Grand Budapest Hotel look goes live today. Definitely watch it. It's a great video if it's not live already. I can't remember what time I scheduled it to go live. But that's happening today. So creating the printed look. So I showed it in my last video. I'll show you all of you. What just happened? What did I click? Okay. That's another thing I hate about the Wacom is I got to be careful because there's so many buttons on this huge touchpad that I can accidentally click stuff. Let me show you this look. All right, so I'll go here. Add default anchors. There's like no easy way to remove anchors on the Wacom. I think I was supposed to leave the two outside. Yeah. Right. Deleted the wrong anchors. Let's do that again. Yeah. And there you go. Then you bring down your shadows. I can let me see. Reset. So there's that, and then you just come over here to bring down your shadows. Oh, look at that! How great does that look? I love the printed look, man. Do any of you remember? I don't know if any of you like. There was a time in 2008, 2009 when I got into fashion photography, and I would buy these really expensive. Actually, who was it that lives over in London? Uh, I can't remember. Oh, do we have a bot in here? Oh, okay, cool. Oh, Goat. Was it Goat who lives in London? Yeah, Goat. So, yeah, you've probably seen these, but I got really big into those really expensive fashion magazines, fashion couture magazines, because I was a fashion photographer, and they would print them on this matte paper, thick matte paper, and this is exactly how it looked. I love the printed look. I'm obsessed with it. I just want to do a whole new TV series graded with a printed look or a feature with the printed look. I love it. It looks so nice. It looks so nice. This is the print look. For those of you who didn't see that video yet. Let's reset all that. Let's go back to our contrast. Ah, too much. It's like Buddha. All right, here we go. Looking good. I'm liking it, everybody. I'm liking it. All right. Okay, so now that we have our first 4 images, we can actually go in here a lot faster now. And then, so why am I going to go through that whole process again when I've already got a similar grade? So I can right click over here and then just say apply grade. You see that? So now I don't have to go through that whole process of, let's make sure. The only thing you just need to make sure of is that your window didn't move. Go here. Yeah, see? A little different. Not that big of a difference, but so, I mean, don't work smart, not hard, right? All right, here we go. Be careful what you click on, of course. I don't don't see this hero shot yet, but I'll just use that one. Yeah, that one's off. So you see how that wall is kind of pink? This is a new angle that we didn't have yet. So I'm gonna grade for this. So we'll balance this out. I feel like the luma is fine. Look at my scopes. Maybe just a little. Okay, and then balance. Way off. And not bad if I say so myself. Oop, wrong one. That's another thing. I bet all of you do that a lot too. You forget to move to the correct node and do your grade in the wrong node. I hate that. Not paying attention. All right, let's do that again. I guess I could just copied and pasted it, but okay. I'm feeling sniffly. I wore a mask on the plane, but I'm super afraid I got COVID or something on the way back. Don't want to get sick. Contrast. Again, watch your scopes closely. Make sure you're not crushing anything. I feel good about that. All right, so now we can continue on. Oh, you know what? Actually, let me check the spotlight on that. Yeah, you can see it's off. You can even tell in the little small window down here that that window was off. I could probably darken that a little. Oh, that window is off too. Yikes, Alyssa. Pay attention. Yeah, you want to, if you're going to be copying and pasting grades, you just want to make sure your windows don't get screwed up. That could be a problem depending on where that window is sitting. Alrighty then. You see, like, once we properly balance those images, what happens? And then you click on a clip like that, and you're like, oh god. That's good. I can just tell by looking at it that that window is good. Move it a little. Okay. And then when I'm done with a scene, I'll actually watch that scene in full view. Just make sure I like everything. But you see here, we have all these scenes already, so I'm not going to go through and make life hard for me when I don't need to. So mean looking. So angry. These are bad guys. All right. Ah, don't accidentally do that. Ah, don't accidentally do that either. All right. Yeah, the Wacom takes some getting used to. But you know, when you're talking about grading for, 7, 10 hours, 12 hours, it makes a big difference. Trust me. You've heard me talk about the claw fingers before. See what I mean? Oh my god. Yeah, that window's fine. That window's good. All right, so we are done with the scene. So now I can go back. Previous clip, go to the beginning. I don't know what it looks like to all of you on your end. There's probably some massive compression going on. So if it doesn't look so great on your end, it might be restream. Also, I think it depends on where you're watching. If you're watching on YouTube or LinkedIn or anything. But it looks good over here. It's looking good. Definitely a lot more balanced out, more natural looking. Remember, when you're balancing, you're looking for realism, you're looking for naturalism. There's no creative anything going on. You're just color balancing and shot matching. Those were actually fake tattoos, everybody. We hired a tattoo studio to come in and tattoo them. It was like I don't know, half a day's work of tattooing all the cast members. It was amazing. I can't believe how real these tattoos look. It's insane. Looks like the real deal. I don't know. What do you all think? Looks good, right? Not bad. You can kind of see what they're saying. Oh, you're about to die, dude. All right. Okay, so I already started grading. Let me switch back, see if there's any questions or comments. Smalls says you're using your YouTube editor that uses DaVinci Resolve, and I find the Fusion system to be incredibly unintuitive and hard to learn, honestly. So Fusion, yeah, I mean, I was planning on starting to do some videos on Fusion. For those of you who have used it, haven't used it, it's yeah, I don't know. I'm a huge I can't how do I say this? I love the node-based system. To me, it's very formulaic. It's very procedural, and I'm a linear thinker. So for me, the node-based system within Fusion, the node-based system within the color panel, makes total sense for me. But for some people, I'm not going to knock you if it doesn't, if it doesn't work for you, if it doesn't make sense for you, then stick with what works for you. At the end of the day, it's just a tool, right? It's just a tool. So if one hammer or one screwdriver is more comfortable to you than using another, then use the one that you're comfortable with. I'm not going to knock Premiere. I'm not going to knock Adobe After Effects as an alternative to Fusion or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. I like, to me it makes sense. Like, you've got your media in and out, what effects you're applying to it. You can actually, I think in the new 18.6, I know Casey Ferris has been talking a lot about this and doing a lot of videos on it, on actually being able to animate characters now in the new Fusion. So it's so powerful. But I don't know, maybe just make sure, Smalls, that you gave it a chance. Like, before you decide, oh, this isn't for me, this sucks, I hate it, make sure you're giving it a chance. Watch a lot of videos, watch a lot of tutorials, make something in it, do something in it, and then maybe it'll start to become like second nature, and yeah, maybe more intuitive for you. But I don't know. I'm not gonna say, again, one way is right or better than the other. There's just your way, and what way you decide works for you. At the end of the day, it's just about the output. That's all that matters. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean, Smalls. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, and you can, depending on what you're doing, and what you're chaining together, you're talking about hours and hours and hours, but you're also talking about animation, right? Let's be fair. We are talking about animation, so it's gonna take time, and I mean, a lot of you have seen this happen with the masking, right? It's never perfect. It's never perfect, and especially in a real world situation like this, and a lot of you have heard me say this before. It's the masking is awesome, and it's amazing what you can do with it with magic masks, but it's not always perfect. And I'll sit there and Smalls, like, I'll spend hours with magic mask, hours trying to fix tracking. And because a lot of the videos that people will teach on YouTube with magic masks, you'll notice is a perfect video. It's a perfect image. There's nothing that can mess up the tracking. But in when you've got footage that you filmed on set, look at this. I mean, I've got this, there's talent right here. There's her. There's this really busy background of wallpaper back there. There's so much going on with this image that, in several attempts trying to get Magic Mask working is a real pain in the butt. But yeah, I mean, look, this all takes time, and yeah, I can understand where you're coming from on fusion and chaining, but it's you get what you put into it, is what I guess what I'll say, right? The more time you put in something, the better something will look. You can tell from these node trees that I've already graded all of these. So I'll kind of jump to where I left off. Okay, so this is where I left off. Clearly you can tell that is a super teal wall. So let's go ahead and make sure our Luma is right. But good comment, Smalls. And by the way, good to have you here. Thanks for being a part of the community. All right. Come back. Usually also want to be careful not to just click on a clip and start grading off of where the clip starts. Usually you want to, I like to have the talent looking up and out, find that sort of hero shot, meaning that shot you want to grade for. Um, like that's a lot better than this, right? 'Cause I can see the white of his eyes. I can see his face. It's better to grade with. All right, so I think I'm gonna grade for that wall. It's coming in super blue. All right, I'm gonna use Nobe. I'll move Nobe to this monitor so all of you can see. That's gonna happen though. Sorry. I tried. I need to find a way to bring all of you into be able to see Nobe. That's better, right? All right, so now you notice that we actually made his face pretty orange and red because what did I tell you before? The walls are going to live within the same space, like in this case, lights. Or let's see, let me go to lights as skin tone, right? So it's unfortunately where skin and walls live. So what we can do is we can do like a depth mask here. I like to start with a depth mask. So let's enable that. So if you look, No. Did it just crash? No. Yeah, it's right here. Okay. So here you can see, well, it doesn't look as bad on this monitor actually. So if I highlight that, you know what? Actually, I'm okay with that. If you look right down there, so look down here and then look, I'll just grab just his skin. You see how it's on the skin tone line? That's actually perfectly on the skin tone line. So I'm okay with that. Anyway, we could have used the depth map if we wanted to isolate just his face. Let me actually show you how to do that. Depth map preview. All right, so anything in the white area and the black area, anything in the black area is what you're going to be affecting, or black or white? Sorry, I don't remember. Sorry, it's white area. So yeah, you want to invert that and then turn that off. And then you can obviously adjust, you know, different things there, but I can go in here and I can then, oops, go into look because I'm exporting that to look. You can see that, oh, I'm sorry. No, it was right. You don't need to invert it. All right, go back. There we go. And when in doubt, make it completely blue. Figure out what you're working with. All right, so yeah, so if I felt like that was maybe too red or orange because I color balanced for the wall, I can now bring this down and just kind of, you know, kind of fix that. And of course, monitor your scopes while you're doing this. Probably a little purple. Or I could use the midtones. I tend to not grade with these, with the primaries, because they're not color space aware. It'll be in the HDR wheels or log wheels, but you know, you get an idea of how you can isolate that with just, for example, the depth map. But I kind of, I'm okay with his skin tone actually. All right. I don't want him to look all pasty. Let's go with spotlight. Let's look at that. And then we can start to focus out on this. Again, not going too much. We could probably do some tracking. I don't usually like doing tracking because like I said in my last video, it literally looks like somebody is on set moving the light and following his face with the spotlight. And I hate the way that looks. It just doesn't look natural. So like in a situation where you have talent moving their head a lot, you know, I'll just kind of increase the space that I'm illuminating, or in this case, subtracting from. And then that covers more of a wider range of where the talent is moving his head. So I'm okay with this right here. I like that. Okay, let's move on to the next scene. All right, so you can see this is the previous version of my node tree. Okay. Now we do have a previous shot of this before, so again, let's work smart, not hard. So we could grab that. Might check our window. Much better, right? And then it just starts to become a lot faster. It's a little too hot. Yeah, if you do decide to go to modify something like a power window, and make sure you just match it up with the other shots. It was clearly moving a lot in the scene. Okay, so we can watch this from the beginning. Ooh, Mama cartel boss getting mad. Here's Juan trying to calm the situation down. Now, some of you can probably see I did some face refinement. Ooh. Oh, why are her hands so red? See that? What was that about? Oh, that's weird. Where is that coming from? That's weird. I didn't notice that before. Is that just my monitor? Let me see. It doesn't look as bad in here. But her hands are super red. Yikes. All right. See if we can fix that. That's better. But we are affecting her face. Look what it's doing to her face. We can fix that. It's actually not that bad. I mean, we could mask it. I don't know. What do you all think we should do? Should we mask it? Let's try and mask it. Let's see what happens with the mask. All right, so I'm going to reset that. And you get like a totally perfect. Sometimes color grading is just, you know, a lot of experimentation. Let me just try it on that one hand, see what happens. Let's track it. Yeah, you see what I mean about tracking? Never perfect science. All right, we only care about it. See if we can get that. It looks like it's breaking the image. Let's try hue versus light. That's not doing anything. Let's see. That looks awful. Her hands look funny, don't they? Let's see what all of you are saying. Hey, Netherlands. Peter from the Netherlands. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Yeah. All right. Well, give me your comments. Let me know what you all think we should do with these hands. Oh, that's better. Highlights. I mean, there's definitely going to be, her hands are definitely going to be rosier than the rest of her arms, but that was wild. Like, if you look at that, look at that. What happened to her hands, man? That's crazy. But that, I feel like that's a lot better. Maybe even get in the shadows there. Bring down her shadows too. Yeah, that looks a lot better, right? All right, so let's do the same thing with our other hand. So we'll mask that out. Her right hand is definitely not as bad as her. I mean, her right hand is definitely not as bad as her left hand, but I'll see. Yeah, it's a lot better. Okay. That was really. But you see the. God damn it. All right, I'm gonna need to do this later. Where's that node grade? Deal with that. I kind of feel like, oh, you know, yeah, this one more shot. I feel like this is the problem area, is like right here. It's a, I mean, it's getting, I feel like it's getting better. Or, let's see, that Sat versus sat. Oh, that's better. Let's not make her look too muddy. Okay, so if any of you kind of saw what just happened, okay. So what I did was I did a hue versus lume to bring down the luminance of that hue. So it's not so bright and orangey. It was weird. It was like she stuck her hands in like paint or something. I don't know what that was about. And then what I did was I went to sat versus sat. Sorry, hue versus sat, and just brought the saturation down of the red. You want to be careful not to make it look too muddy, like too gray. Yeah. A lot better. And now we don't have to worry about tracking issues. See what I mean about Magic Mask? They're not perfect, and I'm not going to sit there and spend 4 or 5 hours trying to fix it when I can do it another way. We just use curves. All right. Okay, let's see what some of you are saying. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal was. It was but yeah, I mean you can definitely see a difference. Like I don't know. I don't I don't know how I didn't notice that before. It's like, "Oh my god, what happened to her hands?" You know, it's like uh she ran her hands through like if her hair was colored red, she just went to the salon and she ran her hands. That's what that looks like. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. Crazy. All right, let's go to back to Juan. Oh, you know what? Let me see. Let me go back. Oh, Azrul says use key and key high saturation bright, then use primary shift hue. Yeah, that's a good idea too. I could have used qualifiers. I wonder how qualifiers would have worked. You guys want to see it? You want to see what happens if I use a qualifier? Let's try it. All right, I'm going to disable that. Now let's go to all right. Yeah, see, we got let's see. Let's take out see if we can get her face. Shit. And we're gonna get her lips too, because it's all within that same range. And we can I guess we can also mask out her face. You see everyone? You see how there's like so many different ways of doing things? It's crazy. Love that about color grading. There's just no one right way. And then what we can do is we'll invert that. You see that? Look at that. Okay, now that we've got our qualifier. And you can use your, you can adjust the softness. That's our window, sorry. Go back to you can adjust the clean blacks and clean whites to I feel like that's a pretty good I feel pretty good about that though. Um and we can always go back to our window. I gotta be careful because I know she's moving her hands too a lot. Just need to be careful here. Yeah. Pretty good, right? Okay. So now, now we can either, I mean, we can use our wheels. We could do whatever. That clearly is something we don't want to do. Let's try you versus that. Yeah, I like Osrul's result better. What do you guys think? Guys and girls think? I think it's a lot better. Yeah. Version 2 for the win. Osrul takes home the award for that one. Am I saying your name right? Osrul? Is that it? Osrul? Okay. Yay. Okay. All right, let's move on. I don't know. Yeah. Isn't that what's so exciting about color grading there, everybody? You know, you get these little sort of idiosyncratic challenges, nuances about, you know, with each and every clip. You face a new challenge with a new clip. Maybe it's their hands. You saw that was weird, like she dipped her hands in Kool-Aid. Totally, look what she did. It looks like she dipped her hands in Kool-Aid. But you know, but it's only on one part of the image. That is, to me, just the exciting part about color grading. You have these challenges you have to work through, and you have all these different tools you can use, and not one tool is the only and right way to do it. It's just what looks the best. So yeah, Azrael for the win on that one. All right, so cool. Let's move on. Grab that. Done. That was done. We did that one. We did that one. Okay. Okay. Outdoor scene. There's not really much I can do here. Let me see. Let's at least give it the new node tree.
Okay. And, I've created your node.
Geez,
it's called tree.
Be quiet, Siri. All right. I think let's see. Let's check Luma. I'm looking at my false color. Looks pretty good. Those of you just joined us, I have no Omniscope underneath my camera on another monitor, so that's what I'm looking at right now. Let's go to balance. I think balance is fine. We can, you know, white balance for the clouds, but the sunny day, it's pretty hard to. This all looks pretty fine. Let me check the. So, I guess we could probably. Yeah, a little warmer. Okay, I actually I highlighted part of the cloud there. white. I'm balancing for that cloud. Bring in some contrast. Ah! Too much. It's good. Definitely need to shot match this. See, it's a little warmer. I like it. Looks good to me. And you can see I wanted to spotlight. I wanted to focus the attention on the creepy skeleton candle thingy. So let's do that. Let's actually copy this. So we shot match it. Let's just bring that spotlight back over. Can see the attention of the audience is more on that. That is a little. I remember the shot being really shaky. So let's go ahead and actually take care of that camera stabilization. DaVinci has a built-in capability for that, so let's go ahead and stabilize that. It will zoom in. Jesus, everybody, look at that. A lot better, right? Crazy. Okay. All right. This is where I did some qualifiers on her dress, and I actually drew, actually not qualifiers, I actually put that on the wrong nodes. That's because this is my old node tree. So I basically made her dress pop more. All right, so let's bring our Luma. So again, we want to expose for her face. You always want to expose for the talent. And we'll worry about the fact that that's all blown out later. But I want to expose for the head of the cartel, La Reina del Sur. Balance, you know, we've got a lot of white here we can choose from. We can balance for the wall. We could balance. She's not showing her teeth, so I mean, we could really balance for anything. If we want to, we just quickly take the auto white balance tool, just quickly balance for that. You can see it's not really making any much of a difference. We can balance for that. It's a little bit cooler. I actually kind of like that. Let me check no omniscope and see where that's at. That's pretty darn. Let me show all of you no omniscope. I mean, if you know, that's pretty darn close. Being perfectly balanced. Like you can see right over what everybody look right there in the middle of the highs. It's perfectly in center. So I mean it's pretty darn good. I like it. I think I remember that wall not being perfectly white either. I think it was more like an off-white. So there you go. And then now I kind of felt like her dress was, you know, a little too muted. I wanted it to pop more. So as Azrael mentioned earlier, we could use our qualifiers. We could do masking like I did originally, or we could do depth. Um, again, there's really no wrong or right way to do this. Let me just quickly bring in some contrast here. That's another reason why I love the node trees, and I was telling Smalls about this earlier. But the reason why I love the node trees is it's very linear thinking. So it also reminds me of all of the things that I need to do in color balancing and then approaching the grade. I like that. All right, so I mean, let's try it first with the depth map, right? Trial by fire. All right. Test our limits. You can see how in color grading every little goes a long way with pretty much everything. That's pretty damn good. All right. So now we can go ahead and just do hue versus sat. Or, I can grab that. Do I need to invert that? Oh, did it go back to inverted? Yeah. Okay. Thought I unchecked that. So, see, and I don't have to deal with a mask or tracking. I don't know. I mean, it's just a creative choice. All of you, you can look at it and say, hey, you know what, Alyssa, if I were the color grader on this, I could really care less about her dress. I think the more excuse me, the least saturated the better on her dress. I want her lipstick to pop out more. So if the dress is more desaturated, then it puts more emphasis on her lips. Oh, I hope I'm not getting sick. Or you could come and say, hey, you know what? I agree with you. I like her dress popping out. It kind of like this red queen, kind of look to her. And that's kind of what I was going for with this. Was I wanted this sort of red queen vibe. But yeah, I mean, again, it's all subjective, and there's no wrong or right way to do this. There's just the way that you choose, right? So if we go back here now, I want to deal with all this blown out area, and I also want the focus on her. So let's bring the spotlight over. And then we can just go in here and we can either use the exposure on the HDR wheels, or we can just use curves, whatever strikes your fancy. But see, you can see we're kind of bringing all this down. If you want to, you can even bring down some of the highlights. You can pretty much adjust anything you want in these areas. Want to bring the highlights down, you can. Those are in your primaries window. Right? See, doesn't that look like a lot more just moody? I like it a lot. Okay. All right. So now let's grab our new node tree. All right. So when I originally graded this, I kind of wanted. I guess it's okay. I just felt like maybe a little bit more luminosity and probably could be balanced a little bit better too. I feel like it, yeah. You notice this is a lot warmer than this one. This one's a lot cool, definitely a lot cooler. So let's do this. Let's steal that grade. All right. So now cover hero shot. Say right about there. Look at my false color scope. And for those of you who think that that's the light box, it's not. It's actually the lamp. It took me a while to. I was looking. I was like, "Oh my god, how could we miss that when we were shooting?" And it's actually the bottom part of the practical light. So at first I thought it was a light box. I was like, "Oh damn it!" But it turned out not to be the case. Yeah, and again, I'll kind of back up. I'll tend to look at my, my window, go off my eye, and then I'll check it with false color, and look at look for usually around 50 IRE, 50 to 60 IRE. It just depends on the scene. Balance is good. Feels like it matches up pretty well with this one. I mean, you can even tell. Oh, for those of you who've never used this before, the light box is your friend. You use the light box to figure out, if anything is not shot matched. And this actually comes from the old film days. But you've got. I can look at these two shots in the light box and tell that they're pretty well matched up from a balance perspective. Okay. Let's do our spotlight. Actually, I kind of want to bring the loom up more. It's a happy moment. Mother and daughter. All right. Now we can adjust. Now that we've exposed for our talent, we can kind of bring the rest of the scene down. Let's not go too crazy. Yeah, that feels right, everybody? Looks good. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Teeth are really white. All right, so now we can go ahead and steal from this grade. There we go. Steal from that one. I kind of like the idea of this being a lot cooler. You could tell that before on the old node tree, I had it pretty warm. I like it cooler because again, we don't want to evoke a sense of warmth here because this is the drug cartel, so we want to. I kind of want the scene a little cold. Oh, that was a printed look. I don't know if you noticed that. If all of you noticed that just now, but that was I think for my printed look tutorial video that I was doing. All right, this needs brought up. So it's the same angle, but it looks like the camera changed. The camera settings changed because that's a lot darker now. Or the sun, you know, the sun moved. Let's see. Might need to get lunch soon. Starting to get hungry. Again, everybody, I'm going to be grading pretty much all day, so you guys and girls can float in and out. Is you know, if you want to go get lunch, go get something to eat, dinner, or whatever. I'll be here. All right, I like it. Okay. Feels good. Feels good. Okay, so now this is a very challenging and interesting shot. And again, as we discussed before, there's multiple ways to deal with this. But, you know, you have this blown out window here behind the talent. And so we have different ways that we can deal with that to recover that information. Now, this was, I can look at this and tell that it was the red V Raptor, which has 17 stops of dynamic range. So that information is actually in there and we can recover it. And I'll show you how to do that. All right, so let's start with a brand new grade. Sorry, everybody, if I keep hitting the mic. All right. So again, you want to, we're not exposing for the window, we're exposing for the talent's face. I'm closely monitoring my false color in Omniscope. And for those of you who missed it, I have signed a partnership with Omniscope with Timing Pixels, and I do have a discount code. They're running an October special right now for 30% off. Once the October special is over, I will be promoting my discount code so all of you can get the discount with my code. All right, so we've properly exposed for our talent. Now let's just make sure it's color balanced. All right, so we can use this, which is clearly pretty damn white, or we can color balance for her teeth. Again, multiple ways to white balance. You can use auto white balance, or you can use your scopes and do it manually. Let's just see what the auto white balance gives us. So if we go here, looks good. I can't complain with that one. Get this one. See, that comes out pretty green. I mean, I don't not like this. If we try and grade it manually, I'm sorry, balance it manually. Nobe is telling me that that's actually pretty darn balanced. If all of you look at this. Oops. So you can see, if you recall, I used auto white balance. I balanced for the window, and you can look down there in the highs graph down here. See that? It's like dead center. It was pretty well balanced. You know, if we go in for our teeth. Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. Why not? Good enough for the government. All right, so we've balanced. Now let's we can bring in some contrast if we want. I mean, it's pretty contrasty as it is, but I don't want to crush her hair while I'm watching my scopes very closely. Okay, so now we can go over here to the spotlight and we can subtract out her face. And then we could just bring that window down. And we can do that with the highlights. And we can also do that with the HDR wheels. Exposure. See how we've brought that down now? And again, since we're darkening with the spotlight window with the power window, we can easily go to the Luma node and also bring up the exposure. We want her face to be a little lighter. You see that? So think of it as Luma kind of determining the luminescence on her face and the spotlight determining the darkness around her. So, you know, we can continue to bring that down if we want. And then, oops, sorry. I can go over here to spotlight, bring that a little darker if I want. And then go back over here to Luma and bring up, you know, push and pull system. Kind of. It's a dance between shadows and lights. That's it. I like that. Looks good, right? You know, you can always adjust where that is, right? And we can go back to this hero shot of the mom. I don't think we have this angle. We could always grab this. So yeah, so move this here. Bring our luminescence up. It feels like my system's getting a lot slower. You notice that? It's not as punchy when I make a change. I don't know what's going on with my computer right now. Maybe it's because I'm live streaming at the same time. I don't know. It just doesn't feel as punchy. Looking at my false color, that looks pretty good. I mean, we're pretty much in 60 IRE there. Right here, let me show you false color. You know, we're about 60, between 50 and 60 IRE, and her looks pretty well exposed. It's pretty good. I'm happy with it. And we can now sort of adjust for her dress. I think we did that here. Did we not grab the... Where's our... Oh, did I use the depth map? I think I used the depth map. Yeah. For some reason I was thinking we used the qualifier. Why does it seem like the depth map isn't being brought over? You notice that? It doesn't seem like... Huh. Oh, I bet... You know what? I bet it changed because of... Let me see. Hold on a second. Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. We're using depth map. For some reason, I was thinking we are using qualifiers. Okay, so yeah, you need to make sure when you have a different angle that you check your depth map again if you're using depth maps. So I copied and pasted from that other grade. So now I need to adjust for this. We might have to use the qualifiers. I'm afraid we're going to grab too much now. Let me see. I'm afraid we're grabbing her daughter. I mean, it looks like we'll grab, I think that's the painting. So we're going to be grabbing some of that. I mean, the depth map may not be the best thing here because she is so much further away. Let's try it. It doesn't look like her daughter's wearing any red, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, when you notice that the red came back up in her dress. I kind of like that, everybody. I don't know what you think, but that definitely is a lot better. And there's no red. The daughter's not wearing any red, and there's no red in that painting. So I'm okay with this. I'm all right with this. All right, so let's get our spotlight in. So, you know, there's a lot going on in this. The only issue is that we've got the daughter where we need a little bit of the attention as well as her, but I don't think she's, I think the only one talking right now or who starts talking is Anna, the daughter. So we actually probably want to put the emphasis over here on her, leave her a little dark and expose, yeah, and bring the audience's attention to Anna. Yeah, I like this. Now, if we want to, we could also bring that highlight down. It's a lot better. I'm feeling it. All right, so steal that grade. We find there. This one obviously needs to. Looks good. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Yep, yep, yep. All right. All right, our depth map definitely needs to be adjusted. Yeah. You can see. Big difference, right? I just love how bringing her dress out like that. Okay, that's good. There. There. See, once you put in the elbow grease in the first few shots, you could just copy those grades over. Makes it a lot easier. Then we have Juan entering scene here. This one I'm going to start with a brand new grade. And we can white balance for the wall, I guess. We'll just see how auto does by itself. If I check this on no Omniscope. Yeah, it's pretty darn balanced. Okay. Maybe bring in a little contrast, just a little. And next is the shootout scene. Ooh, we're going to get into VFX together, everybody. It's going to be a fun scene, the shootout. I'm going to learn, I think, a thing or two. All right. I want to make sure that wall is the same. No, it's not. Oh, let me check comments or questions. Hey, is it Damanpura? Damanpura? Hey. Hello, India. I just want to say that I loved your color theory and color pipeline video. Thanks. Discovered your channel a few hours ago. Thank you so much. Video was so oh awesome. Yeah, I love talking about color theory. Yeah, I that was right now that's my most viewed video on this channel. So it's performing quite well. Peter, I don't know if you're still here, but I actually visited the Netherlands quite often. Beautiful country. Love the Netherlands. Amon, if I'm saying your name correctly, nice to meet you. Good to have you part of the community. As well, your content is so important. Excited to learn from you. Thank you so much. Appreciate all these warm compliments. All right. I'm gonna reset this one. It's definitely a little too overblown. Blown out. And quickly grab an auto balance on there. I'm good with this. Alrighty then. All right, so now is the shootout scene. I am probably gonna break for lunch now, so I will actually, um, I will be shutting off the live stream because I don't think I can live stream without anyone being there. But next we're gonna get into the VFX, the shootout scene between the border patrol and the cartel. And so for if any of you have never done overlays of, for example, gunshots and stuff like that, you're gonna learn right now in this next one. So yeah, so we're gonna color grade for the shootout scene next. Um, I'm going to probably be back around 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so a couple hours, and we can pick up where we left off. And I will just go live on all channels again. Thank you so much for joining me. If you stuck through this entire time together with me, I really appreciate it. Hopefully, you learned something, and I will go ahead and restart the live stream when I get back from lunch. So, hope to see you back here. See you in a bit.